This is data, this is BP's, bunch of blood pressure readings that I used in an earlier video. I'm just going to reuse it here to make a stem plot. Now the first thing you should do, if you hadn't already done it like we have here, is of course sort this from smallest to largest. Now when I make a stem plot, I am going to start by, I want to put all my 10 digits, or if this was something else, you might use a different thing. But for the most part, a lot of times STEM usually works with 2-digit numbers. And if you 3-digit, you'd put a 2 out here. And I'm going to start over here by putting all these values. So this is 6, 7, 8, 9, okay? So this is my tens, okay? And I'm writing this in. You wouldn't normally do this. And then this is going to be my ones place. And so what I'm going to do here is I have a 2, a 4, a 6, and an 8. So this means that this is 62, 64, 66, and 68. The beauty of something like this is you actually can recreate the exact data you started with. The issue obviously is a large data set. This is a nightmare, right? And it's really hard to look at. But for a small data set, it could be. So now I have 4 zeros. So I'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's the 470s. And then I have 172, 174. I have 276s, so I write 2 of those. I have 278s. Okay, and then 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. And then 0, 0. So there is my stem plot. And of course I could label it and I could, say this is BP. Okay? I don't know why it just did that. Okay, well, other than my Word hating me, you see the point here. So the idea being is that you're going to take the 10. So if, for instance, and obviously here, say I had as a last one 112, looking at the other part of this is all the people who are health sciences majors are laughing at me. This is diastolic. If this was the other one where it's higher, you could put an 11 here and a 2, and this would be 112. So just a heads up that you can do that with larger numbers. And again, it depends on your data set, what's going to make sense for you. But the idea is we can see that most then are in this grouping, but really these two, whereas these two are more outlier, they're not outliers, but they're definitely, we're seeing more of that they're grouped there in the 70s and 80s. Now that is by hand. If you wanted to do this in StatCrunch. So I have StatCrunch already up here. And I'm going to put in my values here. And there's my BP. I'm going to come here and I'm going to go down here. And if you go to Graph, they have stem and leaf. And compute. And that is the exact same. The difference is, as you can see here, they actually broke this up into 2 parts. They did 2 60s. So this is really 60 to 65. This is 66 to 68. And with larger data sets, you will see that just as make it easier to read. But the way we did it is also fine. It just, that really comes down to choice, what makes sense for you. But still, this one, and it clearly tells you, leaf unit is 1. The decimal point digit is to the right. It tells you what this is at 60, 60, 62, etc. So hopefully this helps you with these. I think they're kind of fun to create, though they can be a little tedious.